Welcome back to another episode of Parts Random. In today's video, I'm going to do a walkthrough of PokerStars VR, which is a poker game for the Oculus Quest, which is this device right here. It's a VR headset. It's probably one of the cooler consumer devices that I've bought in quite a while. So let's jump in and check it out. After we put the headset on, we'll be placed at the main menu. I have it on the library tab. These are all the games I currently have installed, and we want to play PokerStars VR. So I'll point the controller at it and pull the right trigger to start the game. Takes a few seconds for it to load. When the game starts, we are placed in the lobby, and you can see other people standing in the lobby. Those people are also about to sit at a table to play. I have two hands. You notice on my left hand there's a watch and a speaker with a line through it. The speaker with the line through it means I'm on mute, so people can't hear me talking right now. If you wanted to talk to somebody, you would turn off the mute. You can do that by turning over your hand and on your wrist, pointing your finger at tapping the button. I'm going to leave it off for now. To move around in the lobby area, you use the left or right thumbstick, and you can point to an area and then it'll jump to that spot. You can go up here at this spot here. Oops. And normally there would be a handle here that you could grab hold of using the side button on your right controller and then flicking to the left to spin the wheel, and you'll be granted more chips. I did this earlier, so it's currently not available to me, and I don't need chips anyways. Let's move away from here. To enter a game, we'll bring up our watch and we'll tap on the watch, which will bring up the HUD. The HUD lists all the games currently being played. There's multiple pages. You can flip through the pages by tapping on the little arrow. I'm going to look for a 2550 table which has a seat open, and generally I want a low ping time. So I'm going to enter this one right here, which has one seat open, and I'll say join table. I will then be teleported to the game. When you sit down at the table, the first thing you may want to do is hold down the Oculus button on the right controller. That's the flat button. Hold it, the Oculus icon will come up, and you'll see it'll recenter the table. What we want to do first is we're going to tap our watch, bring up the HUD, and you may want to go to the table and adjust the seat height, which will either allow you to raise or lower the table depending on where you want it.
That's a call.
The second thing I generally do is I'll put my hand up here and you'll see this fist come up. I'm going to push the right side button on the right hand controller and I'm going to lift up. That will allow me to drag the HUD off my wrist, and now I can plan it in space. And I generally leave it to my left like that. And it allows me to look at it and see what the cards are, although you can see the cards on the table over there, along with who's at the table. Now I can click on individuals and get information about them in terms of where they are ranked, etc. I have no chips, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the chips page, and I'm going to say it'll show me my bankroll. I have 131,000 chips, and I'm going to buy in for 5,000. Now it'll wait because the hand's still going on.
Check.
Where?
Now you'll see on the table there's lots of things such as this cup of coffee, and people will have other, like that guy has a pipe, other props. We can get those props from the store. If we go to the store, you'll see I have points here. These points allow me to buy items, and the more you play, the more points you get, etc. So now I can go to my stash and I can see what props I currently have.
Player is all in.
So if I wanted to buy a cup of coffee, I can click on the coffee. I can reach in, pull the right side button on my right controller, and now I have a cup of coffee.
I
I
raised
can
it
drink the
150.
coffee,
He keeps raising it.
or spill it all over the table, or throw it to somebody else.
Okay.
Now I've been dealt in. I have some cards. I can again use the right side button to pick my cards up, and I can look at them. Now, although my cards are faced up, no one else can see them. What they'll see is the PokerStars logo like that.
Call.
So, and of course, everyone at this table is a real person somewhere
Call.
doing the same thing I'm doing.
Call.
Did-
Call.
I'm good first.
Player checks. The flop.
To bet chips, well, for this case, we'll check. We'll just tap the table with our controller twice.
Check.
That's checking. To bet chips, we can use the trigger on the right controller to pick up chips,
Call.
and to bet them when it's your turn, you would just throw them into the middle.
That's a call.
I'm losing too much money.
Now you notice he just went all in. The
Player
way you go all in is you would, well, I can't because I'd have to call, but you turn your hands and push them forwards, and it'll allow you to push all your chips in versus picking them up.
Fold. Fold. Call. Fold. Fold.
Okay, you're gonna be shocked there, folks. Pocket sevens, what you got?
The turn.
See what I mean? Pocket sevens.
Here's the river.
So we lost, so now I need to go back, get more chips.
Three of a kind.
Sorry, folks.
Damn, he actually had some.
Did you have a flush? Did you have a flush? Ooh, I feel so bad for you. I saw you as soon as that three came up, you were like, oh no. Yeah, you had a flush.
You can either use the, oops, I don't want the cigarette, the
Finally.
right side button to pick your cards up, or you can use the trigger and rotate your controller to peek at the cards. This is rather awkward though.
Yeah.
Call.
One very useful feature is to be able to
10,000.
chip up or down your chips. So if I use the right controller's trigger, I can pick the chips up. If I turn my right hand over, you see this button pop up. I can click that button. Now I've chipped those all up into $100 chips. If I want to chip down, I can pick up a single chip.
Call.
To muck, I just simply pick up my cards and throw them. Let's see if I can pick up one. And you'll see there's a break icon.
Here's the flop.
That'll break it into four $25 chips.
Check. Check.
I gotta play smart
Check.
now because I want to make a
Player
profit.
checks.
There's
Player
lots
check.
of silly
Fold.
props that people
Turn.
play with, such
Player
as, and you
check.
again use the
Who has who?
right
Player check.
side button to grab it. You can
Check.
put like the cigarette in your mouth,
Check.
grab a lighter,
Check.
use the
Check.
thumbstick
The
to
river.
light it, and then light the cigarette,
Check.
and then it'll actually blow out smoke. Occasionally it blows out smoke rings. Pretty
Check.
silly.
No one's betting.
Bet. Fold. Call. Fold.
One thing you might want to also do is go to settings and turn on auto rebuy, so that way when you run out of chips, it automatically
Everyone,
That's a call.
everyone.
reloads your stack.
One pair.
Well played. I have
You
that.
may want to turn down other people's chat, depending on whether you want to talk to people or not talk
That's
to
a
people.
call.
Let's see, there isn't really much else to cover other
Call.
than, you know, again, just
Call.
it's pretty much standard poker
Call.
otherwise. one other thing is that if it gets heads up and you want to show your hand to your opponent,
Player check.
push down on the right
The flop.
thumbstick and it will show your cards. Otherwise, they just see the PokerStars logo like this gentleman over here has. I think that about
Call.
covers most of it. It's a lot of fun. I would definitely give it a try if you have an Oculus Quest. If you don't have an
Fold.
Oculus Quest, I would highly recommend getting one. It
Call.
is an awesome device. So I think I'll end there. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. To exit the game, you would just click on this button
That's a
here
call.
and then say quit
The
or
turn.
leave. Leave will take you back to the lobby. Quit will take you back to the home screen. Yeah, that's about it. So take care, and hopefully you found this useful.